welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Penny and it's great to meet you. And if you're an existing viewer, hiya, welcome back. So I don't actually have any content for you, so I thought I'd do a story time because a lot of you have said you actually like my story times. So let's get into this one. Let's set the scene. So we're going back more than 20 years, way back. Howard and I had not long got married. We used to go on camping holidays, but we decided that we were going to upgrade to a caravan. So we went looking for quite a while. We wanted a little second-hand one. I've always liked old caravans because I think they've got more character, and I just preferred them at the time. I mean, now if I had the choice, I'd have a brand spanking new, all singing, all dancing van that did everything for you. But back in the day, I wanted an older van, and that's what we did. We found a little van that was so old, it was beyond a joke, but it was in really good condition. It was about from the 60s, must have been from the 60s. I will insert by there, if I can, a picture of what it was similar to, because I don't actually have any pictures of it, you know, left. Back in the day, it was, you know, photos with a camera. This was before I even had a mobile, and even if I did have a mobile, I don't think they had cameras on them back then. I'm showing my age. So yeah, I will insert, I've been on Google and I found one that looks very similar, and I'll insert it by there. So it was a nice little caravan, it really was, but Howard had never towed. Back in the day I couldn't even drive, so we pick up the van, we packed up our stuff, we had our dog with us. At the time we had a German Shepherd called Sally. Oh, she was lush. So we all get in the car, we go and pick the van up. We have help from the caravan place to hitch it up to the back of the car, and off we set. Bearing in mind he'd never towed before, so oh my god, it was nerve-wracking. Off we go to a campsite in oh my god, I can't even remember the name of the place. Cumcan. It was called Cumcan Forest Drive up in, well, it was in the South Wales Valleys. Not too far from us, not too far at all. We didn't want to go too far on our first trip out. So everything was going really well until we got to the actual site. And the entrance, I mean, I don't know what it's like now, they've updated it and it's a totally different site, but back then, 20 odd years ago, it was just very basic, and it was like a dirt track road in, very narrow lane, and if you met something coming the other way, God help you. So we managed to get up the lane, nothing was coming the other way, which was all great, you know. Then we get to the campsite and we completely bypassed the entrance. So I was like, no, there it was. We've just missed it. So he had to go at me because I was the navigator, and words were said. So we decided that, you know, carry on going. Now it was up a forest drive. It was like that. It was up a blooming mountain. So we kept going. Couldn't see a pull-in, couldn't see another way of, you know, turning off or anything. So what do we decide to do? We decide to do a U-turn with the caravan on the back. Now the logical thing to do would have been to unhitch the van, turn the car around and then hitch the van back up. But no. We weren't that clever. So we didn't know at the time that when you turn a van, you have to turn the wheel in the opposite direction to the way you actually want to go. Didn't know that. So Howard starts turning in the direction he wanted to go, and the van jackknifes. It completely, instead of being like that on the car, it turns. So we start panicking, tries to like steer out of it and straightens it up a bit. But we're still facing the wrong direction and we're still halfway up a mountain like that. So he decides to try again. Getting a bit panicked now. If he does, the caravan decides it wasn't having any of this and it starts slipping toward the edge of the road, and there's a sheer drop down below. So I start panicking, Howard starts panicking, the dog starts howling. Oh, so I jumps out of the car, and I don't know what good I thought I was doing, but on the side of caravans, I don't know if they have these days, but they used to have grab handles on the side. So I jump out and I go one side and I start pulling and pulling with all my might to try and straighten this van up. This was before either of us were ill, you know, we were both fit and healthy back in those days. So pulling and pulling and pulling, Howard's got his foot on the accelerator and he's trying to drive forward. The dog's still howling in the back of the car. We eventually, thank God, straightened up the caravan. If anybody has been watching us, I dread to think what they'd have said. We were bloody amateurs. We didn't have a bloody clue. Anyway, we drive back down the mountain and we get back to the campsite and we get in. Park it up in the visitor centre car park. Go and tell them we've arrived. We didn't tell them what has happened. And we're shown to our pitch. So you'd think that would be the end of it, wouldn't you? No, 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 no. We get to our pitch, put the caravan on the pitch, take the car off, we turn around, and the caravan is slowly moving that way. Now there was a stream that ran the full length of the campsite. It went all the way around and it fed a lake. There was a lake on the campsite. So the caravan now is rolling toward the bush, and the other side of the bush there's a narrow footpath and there's a stream. I start screaming, Howard starts swearing, and the dog starts howling again. So again, we're both pulling on the caravan and this man runs over and he said, didn't you put your handbrake on? And we're like, handbrake? We didn't even know that the caravan had a handbrake. So on the caravan, on the front, there was this thing called an A-frame and there was this little handle thing. And we just thought that that was why you hooked it onto the ball on the car, on the tow bar. No, if you pull it up, that's your handbrake. So we look at each other blankly and the man's like, oh, for fuck's sake. And we put the handbrake on. He says, have you got wheel chocks? What's wheel chocks? We haven't got a clue. So he goes back to his van, comes back with these yellow wedge things, shoves them under our caravan wheel. He says he's there for a week. We were only there for a weekend. Happy days, off he goes. We can get our own wheel chocks at a later date. So we also didn't know that you had to wind the legs down when you get in a caravan. Didn't know this. So Howard hops in. The caravan starts going like this. Oh my God, the man runs back over and he's like, your legs are not down, your legs are not down. What do you mean? Our legs are not down. So he showed us what to do. We did have a windy thing. Wound the legs down, got in the van, set it all up. Happy days. We didn't even bother putting the awning up on our first trip out because we didn't know how to. Nobody had ever taught us anything like this. We'd gone straight from a tent to a caravan. Didn't have a clue. So anyway, the dog stops howling. We get her out. She has a wee, she has a drink, she's happy enough, she's looking around. So we set the van up and unpack everything and happy days. We go for a walk around the lake. Howard buys a fishing permit so that he can go fishing while we were there. And we sort of settle into caravan life. A bit later on, the same day. We'd had our food for the evening. Now, we hadn't cooked or anything, you know, it was our first trip out. We went into Cumcan village and we bought some chips, took them back to the van. After we'd finished, it was quite warm, opened the window at the back. The van was situated so that we had the bunks and the sleeping area in the front, and then toward the back of the van then we had the shower toilet cubicle, and then right at the back against the window we had the sink and the cooker and stuff. So I opens the window, does the dishes, and as I'm putting them on the drainer, oops, they've all fallen out the window. Howard, we're not straight. He said, what do you mean we're not straight? I said, look. He comes and has a look and all the dishes are out the window and on the floor. Luckily they were melamine camping plates and stuff, they didn't smash. So that was another story to tell. This was all on our first camping trip, guys, honestly. Yeah, so we had that caravan for quite a while. Our next camping trip then, we went a bit further. We went to Tenby and we had a lovely weekend there, and we went back to Cumcan quite a few times. It was actually one of our favourite campsites. It wasn't far from home. We was cheap and cheerful. There was nothing on there, but it was a lovely campsite. They've since now upgraded it and it's all singing, all dancing, and we haven't got a caravan anymore anyway. So from then, we learned that the back of the caravan was actually rotten, and where the toilet was situated you could actually put your hand through the wall. So we were lucky the caravan didn't actually disintegrate while we were towing it up the motorway or something. So we traded it in and we got a really nice big, it was an Eldis, a huge caravan. We loved it. We had it for a few years. And then I got pregnant with Chelsea, and in my wisdom decided you can't caravan with a baby, and we sold it. So big mistake, we should never have done that. We ended up going back to tenting, but we had some lovely holidays when the girls were babies. We really did. We went to Pontins, Butlins, Havens, we had lodges, chalets, apartments, you name it, we've had it. But our fondest memories of our holidays are our camping and caravanning trips, and that one in particular, I'll never ever forget the fiasco. I'm just glad we're here to tell the tale, because honestly we're lucky we didn't plummet down that mountain. Oh God, it was an absolute joke. It's like the blind leading the blind, honestly. Neither of us knew what the hell we were doing, but we muddled through. Anyway guys, that's my camping story, our very first caravan. As I said, I'll insert some pictures by there somewhere. I'll insert some pictures of what it was like outside and inside, but it's not the actual caravan and it's not the actual interior, but it's very, very similar. And I'll also insert some pictures of the campsite, well, the lake and the river and the mountains. Yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try and get some content going. God knows what. Not going anywhere. We're still in lockdown for another 3 weeks. But yeah, it may be another story time. I don't know yet. But anyway, guys, stay safe. Keep well. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down by there somewhere. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.